All right, here we go. Friday, October 4th. You've tuned into the Daily Bone podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I forgot that I don't have a camera over here at the very, very private and undisclosed location that I'm hanging out at for a few days. But I'll be back with the camera next week. Look, we're going to talk all things crypto. You already know what it is. We are going to discuss the unmasking of Satoshi Nakamoto. So in other words, a fake story. And we're going to talk about the historical news in the opening of an onshore presidential prediction market. And finally, the story behind the 24,000 ETH crypto. What?
Yep.
The crypto
24,000 ETH. Big sale.
I'd say that's a big sale. Yes. How you doing this morning, Ray?
I'm feeling great. We have a jam-packed show. So much news overnight. Got me fired up. Writing the newsletter. I had to cut stories today because there was just too much going on in the news.
Let's go. We got in other news, we got a little flight misser over here.
Dude, first time, bro. First time. I don't know what happened. I woke up. I was like, oh, shit. My flight leaves in 90 minutes, and I'm 90 minutes from the airport. It happens. It happens. We're out tomorrow.
You've been around this long. This is the first time you missed a flight. That's not too bad. The closest I've ever come to missing a flight was it was a flight from LA when I lived in LA, and literally I was the last person that got on, and they were closing the gate, but I snuck through. But 5 minutes, I would have been cooked. I would have been toast.
I didn't even have a chance. Did not even have a chance.
So you didn't? Yeah. I mean, that's better. That's better than almost missing it.
Yeah.
Or missing it by a few minutes.
I've got a pretty unreal flight miss story from my younger days.
What do you got?
We were at a destination wedding in Costa Rica, and we were at the airport ahead of time, coming home, plenty of time, but we wanted to extend the trip a little bit. So we're hanging out at the bar about 30 yards from the gate that we're going to be leaving on, get some food, have a couple drinks before we head home. Apparently we screwed up the time zones and thought we were an hour later departing than we really were, and then just completely didn't listen to the boarding calls, didn't listen to them paging our names. We looked down at our phones when we're about to board the flight. We have all these texts from our friends and family are you guys okay? They've been paging you all over the airport. Literally 30 yards from the gate, missed the flight when we were there an hour ahead of time. Absolutely unreal. Got rerouted to have to spend the night in a different airport on our way home. It was a miserable experience.
That's a tough one. I mean, nobody likes that. No missed flights in our future. Well, look, Ray said that we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Why don't we just cook with this weather report? We'll get right into it.
Yo, absolutely. Let's get into the weather report. It is Friday, October the 4th. Looking at the crypto roundup, the majors, they just bounced today. You got Bitcoin back over 60K at 61. Ethereum just under 2,400 and Solana at $140. The leading top 100 coin was FTX FTT token. Wow, that is up over 20% to a 792 million market cap. Firstly, over the past 24 hours for the top three stories, HBO has released details on their upcoming documentary, and it's not Succession Season 2. It is, in fact, a documentary that claims to reveal the true identity of Satoshi Nakamoto. Let's see what happens there. The documentary aims next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Secondly, next up, get your wallets out if you're in FTX EU, because their clients are beginning to see their funds unlocked. I'll be checking. However, the recovered amounts are based on November 22 prices, and users are also faced with withdrawal fees. So basically back at zero. And then lastly, finally, the first onshore legal US presidential prediction market went live on Kalshi this morning. You got Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. They're currently deadlocked in the market as 50-50 each. That is all for the weather report. It is back to you folks in the studio.
Great to see a domestic onshore legally approved prediction market for the presidential election. That is absolutely electric. I love how Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is still listed on there. Who's putting money? We know he's not going to be the president. Who's putting money on that? It's interesting. So look, we got this first story. An HBO documentary is airing next Wednesday that claims to have identified the true identity of Satoshi Nakamoto. There's a prediction market candidates already, which is just really funny. It looks like
who we got on the prediction market.
36% Len Sassaman.
Okay.
Other or multiple 29%. Hal Finney, right? Oh, wow. So since from when Ray wrote this, Len is up to
15 minutes ago.
45%. Wow.
Yeah, people are
15
hammering the Len Sassaman. It's been a pretty deep Reddit hole for a while. And you even saw last night Frank DGods came out and said that he believed it had been Len Sassaman for a while as well. Honestly, I'd probably hammer the other. That's like where my money would go.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
well, first of all, I feel like it's not going to matter. Like, the thing that I think that's interesting about this is just the fact that HBO felt compelled to make any sort of documentary on Bitcoin and like publish it. I think that that's pretty interesting. And I think that that's an indicator of like the cycle. Like, it's just funny how it works this way, where it's like we got our Bitcoin cycle coming in, and then all of a sudden there's a HBO documentary on Bitcoin, right? It just works that way, and things just start to pile on. And then years later, you look back at the cycle and you say, oh, well, like those were indicators, blah, blah, blah. It's very hard while you're in it to understand what's going on. But I do think that obviously I think that the actual documentary is a nothing burger, but I love seeing people make Bitcoin stuff. I think that's cool that they're making Bitcoin stuff. I think
it's a good thing as well that it's HBO, Pio. I think you would agree as well that HBO have had some of the best TV in the last 5 years. Like, easily some of the best shows have come out.
Last 25 years. Sopranos.
25 years. Exactly. There you go. I was this close to paying HBO money to watch Game of Thrones. Like, that's how good their stuff has been, and it's so exclusive. But anyway, I think what's more interesting about this story as well, I think it's complete nothing burger over the identity. What is more interesting, I think, is that it's just bringing the story of Bitcoin to the masses. And a lot of people don't know its story. A lot of people don't know the story before Bitcoin, the whole cryptography scene, how it led up to it. A lot of people haven't put in the time and the research to even understand how Bitcoin came about. And I think that will be the most interesting part of the documentary. It's unlikely they'll actually come out and say it is this person, simply because if HBO know, I'm pretty sure the rest of the internet already knows. Like, I don't think they're going to bring any new evidence. But what I'm looking forward to see is how they actually put the story and a narrative around how Bitcoin came about and where that leads us up to today. That's going to be the HBO spice right there.
What if HBO just completely ruins their credibility though and says it's someone like George W. Bush? Like, you know, just something completely ludicrous, and like they try to justify it. I think I'd honestly enjoy that more than whatever. Like,
they're not going to do that easy. They're not going to do that.
I know. They probably won't even tell us who it is. Like, no, that's it. I don't even think they're going to give us an answer.
No, I think they're going to come out with, it's a group of individuals, the whole group of individuals thing. I think they're going to do that and then put together like possible names of who those group of individuals could have been, rather than trying to give one name, because they can also be sued if they go say it's George Bush and he just goes and sues them for being like libel. It was not me, and you have no evidence it was me. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to watch that.
Yeah, it's a nothing burger in terms of like actual meaning for Bitcoin, but I think it's really cool that there's going to be a mainstream Bitcoin program on the HBO network, and it might make people pay attention to Bitcoin, or like say, hey, like, let me learn about this thing. Like, if they present Bitcoin in the right light, somebody watching it could be like, huh, well, that actually makes sense. That's something that I could look into. Ray, was there something you want to add?
I was going to say, I just saw a comment saying someone said it was going to be Paul LaRue, and I had an interesting read. I reposted this. Beanie made a case for Paul LaRue with some like interesting like facts. He went down the rabbit hole on this one. I think it's a good read. It's on my Twitter account. I reposted it yesterday, but just talking about like the case that it could be him. Talking about like his like tech knowledge, like his communication patterns during the creation of Bitcoin. But if you don't know who Paul LaRue is, he was like a cartel leader down in South America. So it'd be an interesting one for Bitcoin if that's the case, if it was him.
Yeah, I mean, look, however it plays out, it's like I'll probably throw the thing on just to feel the way that the entertainment industry and like a documentarian is presenting Bitcoin. I think that that's always an interesting thing to do. Anytime there's people outside of Bitcoin and crypto talking about Bitcoin and crypto, I always want to pay attention and hear the way that they talk about it, whether they're in the right direction or the wrong direction. I just want to get a gauge at what people think. So we'll see. Anyway, Kalshi launching prediction markets for the presidential election. Very interesting. The last time election markets were legal and mainstream in the U.S. was 1924. I didn't know that. So in 1924, they had that?
Yeah, and in 1924, in the months leading up to the election, the prediction markets on the election did more volume than the stock market.
Damn.
Pretty wild stat. I was actually going through call sheet today, and something else caught my eye. Looking at the interest rates spike this morning. I didn't catch the payroll data from this morning. Did you catch that, Easy? But looking at
insanely bullish, 250K out of, they estimated 150, I believe, 250 over 150. So it came out like insanely bullish. People saying soft landing inbound. Yeah, I was actually not terribly surprising because this is the last payroll data I think we get prior to the election. So a lot of people said that we're going to come in with numbers that are probably inflated to make the economy seem like it will be a soft landing going into the presidential election.
It looks like prediction market for November's rate cut dropped from 40% all the way down to 11.
Cratered. Yeah.
Yeah. The market for a zero cut has ran all the way up to 13 from 5.
Yeah, I think we get 25 BPS because they'll most likely do a correction on this data. Is how I anticipate them doing it. Data comes in really high, they correct down. Media kind of ignores it. I think we get a 25 BPS hike. I don't think we get above that, and then I think we get another one for the end of the year.
So you're only going for 2 now, Easy. So you've gone from 4 to 2.
Yeah, at the moment. I think just because of this. Like, I didn't expect them to really pump these numbers as hard as they did. To come in almost 2x higher on non-jobs data here, I was like, that surprised me. I thought they'd at least come in like 175 over 150. 250 is crazy because that basically means that first rate cut instantly hit the economy. Job market revved up incredibly fast, which like isn't realistic. But at the same time, like it's an election cycle. Yeah. I want more cuts personally, like please. But this data was not very cut friendly, I would say.
Yeah, so basically we need to start trading on Polymarket Easy's receipts. Can we just start like trading Easy's receipts here? You were on 4 last week, Easy. I said 2. No, you said
we still
4,
got 58% on 4. So 4 has actually gone up 22%.
I don't think it's gonna be 4. No way it's gonna be 4.
Because we've had 2, so that would be 2 more, correct?
Yeah, I think 4. I mean, I think it's more likely.
So that's 2 more. It's 4 for the rest of the year. We have 2, so 2 more would put me in line at 4, not 4 more. This does include. This includes the 2 already. So that's where the 4 comes in. This includes the 2 plus 2 more would be 4, which that's ran the hardest. So it is seeming like 4 is going to happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Really, Cycler's betting on 7 cuts.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy,
dude. I do not have any understanding of why people do the fringe. Like, who is doing the fringe betting? Is it like weird market manipulation? But regardless, like, why? I do not understand why people are like, fuck it, throw $50 at that. It's like, dude, there's not gonna be 7+ rate cuts. Like, what are you doing?
Absolutely wild. I guess it's maybe like something you could do, like a hedge, like an insurance hedge. Like if there's a scenario where there's gonna be 7 rate cuts and that's gonna really mess up one of your other positions, you throw like a little bit on this and try to 100x it to make up the difference. But I don't know how much liquidity is there.
I don't know, but anyway, it's great. Again, it's great to kind of see, prediction markets continuing to attract volume. We got this TradFi news barrage, as Ray has kind of deemed it, the TradFi news barrage. Ray, what do you think is the most interesting thing here?
I think there's 2 actually. I think the Visa launching VTAP. It's basically a platform that's going to let banks issue fiat-based tokens on the blockchain. So they're going to allow some extra infrastructure that's going to help like more traditional banks like deal in like digital assets and blockchain transactions, which is big. And then this next one also ties into that with Swift. So Swift is like the global interbank payment network right now that like is very slow and takes time to resolve. They're going to be launching digital asset transaction trials next year. So they're going to be getting into blockchain to help their resolution times, help their on time. So that's very interesting seeing, the traditional banks, traditional finance adopt blockchain to improve efficiency. Surprise, who would have saw it coming?
Look at that. Look at that. I'm just saying, time goes by. Things slowly get integrated. Takes a long time. Takes a really long time. People talk about it like 7 years before it happens. So it feels like it's never going to happen. But all of a sudden, you got TradFi integrating blockchain, crazy idea. Integrating the new, better technology, pretty wild. We also got a little Grayscale trust based on Aave. Aave's hot as hell right now, huh?
Yeah, Aave's been cooking. There's been a ton of news coming out of Aave. The Trump token fork is going to be launched on Aave. Their token has been doing very well. I'm going to bring up the token price right now. I'm trying to use all 8 of my hands right now.
Didn't I say that I felt Aave was underpriced if we're gonna get this Trump fork of it?
Yeah, you did.
I think that was the mention. I was like, this feels like a no-brainer if we end up actually getting this fork here. Which, damn, 130 on the year is crazy. I mean, it's obviously like a trusted, well-known DeFi platform. Like at the same time, it's been around for 4+ years at this point, much longer than the majority of a lot of other DeFi platforms. So there's some inherent level of trust, and clearly like the Trumps know what it is, which is interesting. That caught me the most off guard to hear that they wanted to fork this and led to like some inherent interest from their team. That was probably the most surprising thing for me. But yeah, I think this is still a no-brainer even at 150. Send it higher. Like, send it higher.
It's been
Easy.
around.
I wanted to ask, are you like concerned at all by seeing all the sort of like banking infrastructure not using Solana as their main infrastructure rails? Because we're seeing like Aptos, Aave, a lot of other blockchains. Why doesn't it concern you at all if you're seeing all these other sort of traditional financial institutions not use Solana as their L1?
From a DeFi perspective, Sol's like it's had its place, but like you got to think too. Sol's benefit is its speed and cost of transactions, which is like it's not that it's security. Like that's why Aave being on Polygon, which is an offshoot of ETH, gives the inherent security that many banks actually prefer. There's still the argument to be made about centralization from Solana, but like Visa, PayPal, major actual transmitters of capital prefer Solana because it's cheaper than credit cards. So to them, that makes more sense. I'm not too worried about the DeFi side of things. Like I'm significantly more interested in the actual transacting of payments because that's where there's going to be a much better use case. Like Bitcoin Lightning is used in a lot of South America, but what happens if they just start trying PYUSD on Sol and they realize its finality is much quicker? That's where I'm interested. Like versus the banking and DeFi side of things, I'm significantly more interested in the retail use case of it.
Real quick on the decentralization thing. So this is just so interesting is that, so, I mean, you guys have probably heard me talk about this, but I just want to draw the line. I think it's very odd that really smart people, including like an Edward Snowden type, and including a lot of people that are, so deep into Bitcoin, really, really smart people fail to come to the understanding that not every crypto asset is money. Like they're just so fixated like they're so obsessed with looking at Solana as a head-to-head direct competitor to Bitcoin for money. And it's like, dude, it's not. Like if there's a Solana video game, nobody's going to be like, yeah, Solana's going to replace gold. Like what? It's just apples and oranges. It's not, those things are not in line with each other. And so I think it's so interesting that people start complaining about how Solana is obviously more centralized than Bitcoin. But why does that matter? Like if I just take 2 cars and I say, well, one car is shorter than the other or longer than the other or taller than the other, who cares? Like it's a different car. Like unless it's outrageously big, it doesn't really matter. So I think it's really, really fascinating that people just fail to recognize that it doesn't matter if Solana is centralized because Solana is doing what it's supposed to do. Essentially doing the things it was built for, just like Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is acting as a digital money store value replacement for gold. I don't even have to touch Bitcoin and I'm a daily active user of it. It's perfect. It's beautiful. I'm not playing video games on Bitcoin right now, right? I know someone's going to be like, oh, with Ordinals, you can actually put Pac-Man on. It's like, dude, shut up. Like
actually with Pizza Ninjas, they have the emulator that you can play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES on it. One of the best games of all time. You can play it directly on your Ordinal.
Solana is still way more decentralized than a traditional, like private corporate, network of any sort, by the way. So it's not like it's like hella centralized. It's just not centralized enough to literally replace money like at a global level, which is okay. It's not a big deal. And it's super cool that it's a better way to transact for small transactions than Bitcoin or Ethereum or just about anything else at this point, pretty much. So yeah. So moving on, we got meme coin news. We got BitMEX listing Mudang for spot trade. What is the current state of affairs with Mudang? Is that $170 million market cap? Is this thing going up?
We talked about this.
You're betting on virality. You're betting on virality. Do we continue to get virality on the Taiwanese water pig? That's the tough part. Like
Taiwanese or Thai?
Thai water pig. Sorry, not Taiwanese. The thing with that is like we saw the SNL skit. We saw them talk about it in news outlets. I saw it in person. How many more top signals can we get? And that's the thing. I want to see it continue to go higher. I like Mudang. It's fun. But like now the focus is shifting to who is the founder of Bitcoin. And there was multiple shit coins on that yesterday. You know? Like that's the thing is like the focus and the interest is a little bit tough. But I think we may still see Mudang have some legs.
Do you see this as a local top then, Easy? If we're going through this, like, you know, Ray just put together his meme coin portfolio, which has some established names and less established names. Do you see Mudang as like a local top here that can carry on? I
said like 2 or 3 days ago the top was in, and that was at like 270 mil. It ran to like 340. Everyone told me I was an idiot and it was going to $1 billion, and now it's been down only. It's like I was just a little early on thinking the top was in, but like now everyone's saying it's over. So I almost want to take the opposite side of that and buy more. Like I have a tiny bit that I started buying after the initial sell-off, but now it's like I kind of want more purely because I think like there's a serious chance here that the bottom is in or getting close.
My main concern with this is that it's a pump fund coin and there isn't supply with the developers to get listed on tier 1 exchanges. We've never seen a pump fund coin get listed on a tier 1 exchange like a Binance. So the problem is for me, like these $100 to $200 million coins, when you're looking for upside, you're hoping that they're getting that bigger listing, and that's going to drive potential price action. So that's what worries me about this being a pump fund launch.
I think that's totally valid. And so you have to be betting like this thing's going to break out for the first time. You know, the first pump fund, like that's a big bet to make. I'm not saying it's impossible. It could absolutely happen. It would be precedent setting, right? So that's something to keep in mind for sure. We got Mark Cuban saying all meme coins are a rug pull during an interview with Farouk. Well, no shit. Yeah. Thanks, Mark. Duh.
Shocker. Like, okay. Awesome. Even like, look at Doge. Even the Doge founder doesn't hold Doge. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah. I mean,
nothing burger.
Yeah. No shit. Dude, let's do this. We're going to do top dog early and then we can finish. Ray, you want to run this top dog right now?
Yeah, I'll run the top dog if you come up with a 5th question.
Okay.
That sound like a fair trade-off?
I can do that for sure.
Okay, yeah, I got 4, and I was struggling to find a 5th today. So we're gonna go over top dog. This is top dog. Welcome to the Daily Bones, week 13 of top dog. We're gonna start by going over week 12 resolutions and standings. Pulling it up right now. Bo Puppo maintains the lead with 38 correct answers. He's answered all but 1 question. He had an off week. He only got 1 out of 5 last week. Very rare miss for Bo Puppo. He gave up his lead in percentage correct. That now goes to Nick, who hasn't played in probably 2 months at this point. But has gotten 2/3 of questions right. So he is holding that top spot. Ghost Skater, who is a regular participant, passed Bo Puppo in percentage at 66% correct. So let's go over the resolutions for last week. We talked about the first one was the best weekly performance of Bitcoin, Sol, and ETH. All were down on the week, but Bitcoin was down the least. So Bitcoin takes the title there. Mudang, we were very bullish last week. We said over under $250 million market cap on the show on Friday. This morning, it was well under that. The under hits. Fantasy top leader, Nick or Clemente. Almost everyone was on Clemente here with the thesis that Nick was going to be sick and hungover after travel and not posting on Twitter as much. Clemente hit. Everyone hit. Chalk hit there. We talked about the mentioned markets. We had the vice presidential debate last week on Tuesday, or this week on Tuesday. Tim Walz said football. So that was a yes. And then JD Vance said Trump 20 plus times. That also was a yes. So that was the results from last week. We're going to go into the questions from this week. So if you want to play along in the audience, answer these questions. We're tracking results. We'll share some on the screen. But we have questions for this week. We have 5 of them that we're going to be going over. The first one, very related to what we've been talking about today with the presidential mention market. We're locked in a dead heat at 50-50 right now. Who is going to be leading by the beginning of the show next Friday? Pio, let's start with you.
Wow. This is, honestly, I'm actually going to go Harris.
So Harris was winning at the launch. She was up 1%. She dropped down the even. So I like that play. So Harris for Pio. Signal.
Is there any debates or anything going on this week?
Probably not.
Not that I know off the top of my head. There's definitely not a debate.
Not that they matter at all.
Trump is doing a speech. Trump is doing a speech in Butler where he was attempted. This assassination attempt happened.
Okay. Give me Trump then.
All right, Trump for easy.
I'm gonna go Trump as well. So, yeah, such a coin flip. I'm gonna go Trump for the 1 week.
A couple other audience members. Roy's on Trump. Bachelor Society is on Trump. Lots of people on Trump. I'm gonna go the other way, Pio. I'm gonna go with Harris. I think that she was leading. I think that there's gonna be a lot of volatility early in this market. I think we're gonna see Harris come on top. And if you know that it's Kalshi is like more fiat based, so you're going to be seeing less crypto influence on this. So I think that Harris could be an interesting pick here too. Some more answers from the audience. We got Benny Flacco saying,
quick question on Kalshi here, real quick, just to ask. This is US based, so I can just sign up.
Yeah, you sign up. You do need a KYC.
That's fine.
Yeah, but it's completely legal in the US. KYC sign up.
What's it take? Like driver's license?
Driver's license.
Like, sweet.
Yep. So no having to worry about a VPN, no doing any shady dealings. You get to do everything legit, and you don't have to like.
And then on ramp, is it just debit credit card?
Yep.
Oh, sweet. That's way easier. Okay, that works.
Yeah, 100%. Second question. This one's a little different. We're going to be going by the beginning of the show next Friday. The total market cap of the top 5 meme coins. So whatever those top 5 meme coins are, what is that market cap going to add up to? Right now, we're sitting at $34 billion. I'm going to go over under 36 billion as we just saw a bit of a drawdown, and I think we do see a little recovery. So 36 billion is the number for the top 5 meme coins.
I'm going to go under because I think that, we just got this crazy injection of the Mudang coin, and I think that there will be a broader cool off as a result. So I'm going to go under.
Ray, what are the top 5?
The top 5 right now. Sorry, I'm sharing the wrong screen. Top 5 right now are Doge, Shiba, Pepe, Whiff, and Bonk. That could change. Floki could jump in there and replace Bonk, but it'll be whatever the top 5 are at the time.
Give me over.
Mm.
Give me over.
People are bringing up October. Very good point, but I'm going to stick with under.
I'm going to go under on this. I'm going to go under.
For Sig? Yeah. I'm going to go over. October time. We're going to keep pumping. Pump fund launches aren't slowing down. I think that money potentially rotates back into some of the majors. We are seeing what I think will be a more prolonged meme coin season than kind of a flash in the pan. That's my thought here.
Ray's making me feel like I'm totally out to lunch with my under pick, which is probably the case, but whatever.
Well, it's so funny because I go back on these and like I'll rewatch some of the Friday shows to get some audience comments and record. And it's so funny, like listening to how confident we are in our thesis on these and just to have them be absolutely dead wrong. Like we're so confident. We're like, yeah, this is 100% happening. And then the next week it turns around. It's like, nope, not at all.
It's always super weird to watch yourself confidently be wrong. Like when you record a podcast 5 days a week for years, there's a lot of confidently being wrong. And it's such an odd thing that like, if ladies and gentlemen, if you don't record yourself on video, if you don't do podcasts and just think about opinions that you've ever expressed that you look back on and you're like, yeah, that wasn't that good. Just imagine if it was in 4K, like literally in 4K with an HD mic and all that,
No, we don't need to do that. I need to go see my dermatologist before we start doing for KPO. But actually, I've moved up the rankings recently because I have completely stopped. I've been doing the opposite of everything I think, and then essentially I have moved up the ranks, and I have no idea why. But it feels like the difference between when you paper trade and you actually trade. I've done pretty darn well on all my meme coin paper trades, but I know as soon as I actually start implementing a real portfolio, it's just going to be down only. So I'm going to continue this strategy and hope to move up the ranks and get close to Bo Popo. So I'm going to be, I'm going under on this, even though I think it's over.
David Fowler, aptly pointing out the George Costanza strategy from Seinfeld being implemented by Signal here. Just take whatever you think and do the opposite. So love to see it. Good stuff. All right, next one, Ray. We got Bitcoin puppets. Are they going to spank the monkey?
Yeah, so I was told by our Discord members to use this term, as this is the term they use in their community. And this means, are they going to flip node monkeys at any point this week? So they just need to flip them at any point this week. Right now, puppets are up 37% on the day, 0.14 Bitcoin floor. Node monkeys are at 0.18, also up a bit on the day.
They will.
Wow,
yeah.
we got a
yes, they will.
Yes from Easy.
I mean, dude, if they have a saying for it, they're gonna do it. It's the same thing like when everyone was saying that penguins wouldn't flip apes, and then like when you manifest it to that capacity, it happens. And the fact that puppets here, Bitcoin puppets, are like spank the monkey. It's absolutely lewd. It's crude. It fits. That's gonna happen. They'll at least flip them momentarily.
All right, I don't think it's gonna happen in the next week. I'm gonna say no here. I had to everyone wanted this question, but it just seems like that 0.04 Bitcoin is a bigger gap than 0.04 ETH. Like that's a pretty big gap. That's a pretty big gap. It's gonna take a bit to get there.
All right, I'll go with Ray. I'll rock with Ray.
All right, PO on the no as well.
Sorry,
Signal,
puppets.
what are you thinking?
I think no, so I'm going to say yes.
All right.
Yes.
Roy's following Easy in. He says yes. Just follow Easy idea. Obviously,
I love Roy added. Roy clarified. Roy wrote his name and then in parentheses put his name again in case you were like you wanted some additional clarification.
Yeah. A good point by Bachelor Society. Monkeys always get magically swept when we get close. So like saying there's a little insider trading going on the node monkeys front, that they're buying to push down the momentum of the puppets.
All right. Well, this is a juicy one. I actually want to see this one, whether they'll spank the monkey. Next one, we got who will be identified as Satoshi in the HBO documentary. I mean, first of all, I just don't care about this. Second of all, I would have thought Hal Finney. So I'm going to go against that. And I'm going to say, look, if the markets are saying Len Sassaman and everyone's like Len Sassaman, fuck it. Well, let's go Len Sassaman.
Who is Len Sassaman?
Len Sassaman, let me bring up his Wikipedia page. I actually saved that for us to take a look at.
I have no idea who the guy is. And I'm going to be honest, I don't do much deep Bitcoin founder analysis. It's the one area I probably have lacked in my research of the crypto space. Who the hell is this guy?
American technologist, an information privacy advocate, and the maintainer of the Mixmaster Anonymous Remailer Code, and operator of the Ranseed Remailer.
Interesting.
Much of his career was gravitated towards cryptography and the protocol development. So very big on privacy. Already developed a privacy protocol with a anonymous remailer, part of the cypherpunk community. So definitely has Bitcoin values and technical skills, which I think are the two things you really need to be Satoshi at that point. Like those are like the two like baseline requisites.
Yeah, so Roy's saying, I have no idea, but isn't Hal Finney the founder of BTC? So look, a lot of people believe a lot of people believe that Hal Finney is Satoshi Nakamoto because there are very, very early communications between Hal Finney and Satoshi Nakamoto, and Hal was involved in the development of Bitcoin. What you have to understand about Bitcoin is that people were trying to make Bitcoin before they could figure out how to make Bitcoin for decades. And so there's charts you can see that show essentially a timeline of, call it the 40 years before Bitcoin, all of the attempts of making, what we made as Bitcoin. Well, what we really discovered is Bitcoin. We essentially discovered the ability to do blockchain technology, just like we discovered the ability to make the internet, right? And so the problem was, making something, well, the biggest problem was making something truly decentralized, like actually decentralized. And the breakthrough was solving the Byzantine generals problem and figuring out how to actually create proof of work architecture, right? This technology backed approach to building a network, a technology network that works on its own in a decentralized way, meaning that you don't have to depend on a centralized company or entity to keep the thing running. So Hal Finney's a name that gets brought up a lot. People like harass Hal Finney's wife and stuff. They like go to his house or whatever. He died of, I think, MS when he was like 50 or something. It's weird that all these guys died. Like Len Sassaman died at 31. I don't know. It's pretty weird stuff. But for a long time, I was like, yeah, probably Hal Finney, but I don't know. People are saying Adam Back. I don't think he like made Bitcoin. I don't know.
I'm going with Paul LaRue.
I'm seeing Paul LaRue.
This one's the most interesting answer, to see a drug cartel boss being the creator of Bitcoin. But
and an informant to the DEA.
Yeah. I read Beanie's little blurb about him and how he's a technical skills, and they were saying like not many people have the technical skills at that time frame to do what Satoshi did. And it was like Elon Musk was thrown out there because he had the technical chops to do it as well. But I'm just taking Paul LaRue for fun here. I'm probably going to be wrong, but I'll take a flyer.
Ego. Sorry, we're right. Elon Musk has the ego the size of Mars, and he would come out and say that it was him. No way is that man going to his grave without telling the world he invented Bitcoin if he did invent Bitcoin. So for me, Elon Musk is a no-no. You know what my favorite one is of all these characters is Dorian Nakamoto. When he was like supposedly claimed to be the founder of Bitcoin,
they just used this picture.
Yeah,
he's such a
they just used the guy's picture. He's like, dude, what the hell?
I love that guy. He's absolutely brilliant as a character. This is a tough one. This is a really tough question. Can you scroll up a second? Right on the.
Just give me other many. Give me the easy cop out. Other many.
I think other many is actually a pretty good bet.
That's the one I'm taking. Give me other many.
Other many for easy.
Like, think about how many times there's been a hyped up documentary or something, and then the end is disappointing, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
The most likelihood they're going to come up with a group of individuals for this. I don't think they're going to name an individual, which actually, how does this bet even resolve?
If it's basically, if they say it's more than one of these people on the list combined, or if they say that it is somebody else.
Okay,
what if it ends and they're like, we don't know?
I think they say like, if two or more individuals are presented as equally likely, it will resolve to yes. If it is not released, it will result to yes.
Fahad Chima.
Well, if it's not released, it results to yes. So other many is even if they don't announce something, it's that.
Then in that case, I'm going to go with Hal Finney. Then
going with Hal.
We're all over the place
I'm
here.
Go with Hal for this.
So Pio's on Len Sassaman, favorite in the race. Easy's on other multiple. I'm on Paul LaRue, and Signal's on Hal Finney. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. I don't see too many in the crowd. We do see Justafano saying Clemente is Satoshi. We see LaRue or Finney from Fetty. You got to pick one of them. You can't just take multiple there. This is a tough one, but I'm interested to see. I'm definitely gonna watch it. It's gonna be must-see TV just to see like them talking about like the origins of Bitcoin on a massive scale. So that's gonna be exciting to watch, and I'm gonna be watching it regardless.
Yeah, that's why it's must-see TV. Diesel 93 accurately pointing out, like, if they really knew the founder, it would have leaked. Duh. Nobody knows the founder. That's like the point. It's been 15 years. The thing's worth $1 trillion. It's a pretty special thing when you think about it.
It'd be bearish if we did. It would be bearish if we did know who it was. Like, extremely bearish.
Yeah, I mean, it's designed to be its own thing that like just lives out there in the world on its own, and it does. It's doing pretty okay. So anyway, last question. I came up with this one while we were doing this. Over or under Nick appearances on the show. And I think the number we should do is over or under 1 appearance.
1.5. So we have a guaranteed winner.
Sure. Or is 1 a push? I almost like the push.
That's what I was thinking, what Easy said.
Because there's a chance he
I
just
don't like
doesn't
this
show
question.
up
I feel
for
like
the
there's
week.
inside trading. There's inside trading on this question, like between Pio and Easy, and potentially Ray being in there.
I produce the
I feel
show
like
and I
there's
don't know when
inside
Nick's coming
trading.
on.
Ray
I have
hosts
no
the
idea
show,
when
but
he's
he
going to be
doesn't
on.
know.
This is the only time I'm going to deviate from my strategy, and I'm tailing Easy and Pio.
Okay. I'm gonna say so. It's over under 1, and then the 1 is the push.
What
So
is
you're
the push?
essentially the push is like very viable. I think that 1 is totally on the
I
table.
think you can bet 1. I think you can bet a push. I think on this question you can bet the push.
Okay. Okay.
So you
So
can.
over
I'm
under
betting the
even.
push. 1 episode. He'll be on once.
That's a good bet. That's a good bet. Yeah, I'll bet the push. I think 1 is that's 20% of the shows. That's pretty good.
I think 1.
Ray?
You know where I stand, Ray?
Just taking 1.
I'm going to take, he showed up once this week. I think he had a good time. I'm going to go over. I think he's going to show up 2 times. I think he's going to do it. And then everyone else is going to be on the even at 1. And I'm going to shoot Nick a DM real quick that we need his services next week.
Very funny, Ray.
All right, so I'm on over. Theo Signal and Kick or Easy are all on even at 1. Got a 0 from Bachelor Society, a 0.3 from Roy. Who is Roy? We have that extra clarification as Theo mentioned earlier. We have Ghost Skater taking the over with me. Let's go, Ghost Skater. We're gonna hit this one.
Well, there we go. That's our episode. That's our sequence of Top Dog here, our favorite game show segment on the show. You can always play along with the game. Before we wrap, look, what's the hottest story in meme coins right now? What's the hottest story in the market?
Hottest story in meme coins right now. Yesterday, I mean, it's mostly just what Ansem's tweeting about. Like, as crazy as it is, he bought Kobe yesterday, which sent Kobe from 3 mil to over 10 million. Because he said that if this individual on Twitter changed her PFP, he would buy it, and she did. So basically just using it as bribery at this point. A token he just tweeted was also called Never Kill Yourself. He tweeted that sentence showing his bags, and now the ticker Never Kill Yourself ran 150% right now. So it's basically just like follow Ansem season at the moment. Yeah, that Kobe candle's insane. Like, him buying it yesterday sent it 300% on a meme coin. The thing is, it's like, yeah, I know. That would have been the play for our meme coin bag.
I had Kobe. I called Kobe in my several times in my theoretical meme coin portfolio, and this is what I mean. Like, I'm turning into Clemente.
Yeah.
This is such a depressing Q4. Like, all my paper trades are
That one
good, and
hurt.
my real ones aren't.
That one hurt.
Yeah,
I share my
that
meme
one
coin
hurts. That one
portfolio,
definitely
and the
hurts.
only meme coin I got like shilled with, this was before the pump, was Kobe. Just like Kobe. And I was like, I
Yeah,
actually
the
like
team
Kobe.
works,
I'm
dude.
looking at it, and I didn't buy it. Of course, I didn't buy it. And then, of course, Ansem tweets about it, and it does a quick 3x. Absolutely
Insane, dude. Absolutely insane. But that's kind of the narrative right now, is like these older coins are finding opportunities. And so many people watched Murad, his token 2049 speech over the last couple hours, like days, I would say last 2 days. So you're seeing a big run on some of these ETH meme coins like SPX 6900, which like I actually like the narrative on. They basically just want to flip the S&P, which I think is pretty funny.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, and he's just like, he has an interesting thesis where he's like, I don't buy meme coins unless they're 6 months old. And I'm like, that's crazy. But like, his bet is just longevity. Like, he won't touch a meme coin unless it's been established, which I'm like, that's really interesting. So then Giga also ran very hard. That's another one that's gotten a pretty heated narrative recently, with a lot of people just saying like, those are actually Murad's 2 biggest bets, are Giga and SPX 6900. Giga is the ultimate male masculine coin, and SPX 6900 is like the anti-thesis for traditional finance. And then it's also like a waifu type of female picture on it. So he says that it's female divine energy or something is what he gives the attribute to in his speech or his panel, his talk, whatever he did. So I actually do like those 2. And it's like, seems many people kind of woke up to them after Thread Guy posted it, after a few other big individuals on Twitter reshared that panel, that speech. So that's kind of like the main narratives we've been seeing recently. But overall, it's like, the more I sit here and look at meme coins, the more I'm like, what is going to be the clear winner from this current cycle? And it's tough to kind of identify because you get a new $1 million ticker every day. 2 days ago, it was Pochita. Yesterday, it was literally any of the various front runnings of who the HBO doc was going to say it was going to be. And then even today, I'm sure we'll get something else that's absolutely absurd that ends up running really hard.
So real quick with the SPX, what's the market cap of it now?
230 million.
Damn. And that's been out for over 6 months?
Yeah, it's been out for, I think, like a year and a half.
Wow. So
it's been out for a while.
Wow. Okay. Very interesting.
Just started pumping. Like here's the all-time chart. Just straight up.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So the SPY, are they going off of the SPY as the market cap they want to flip?
Yeah.
So that's 516 billion.
They keep saying the goal is $1 trillion. That's what they say. $1 trillion. I don't say they want to go to $1 trillion. I don't know.
That's
I don't
really
argue it anymore. It's just like the ludicrous amounts of it is just like, all right, I'm down. Let's see what happens. Send it.
They're saying that the goal for this one random ass meme coin is $1 trillion.
I like how they make the specification that they're not affiliated with the Standard & Poor's 500 in their
No, they aren't.
No, it's just like that's why, like us laughing about this now, and the fact that it's like they keep this narrative push that they're like, we hate what happened with AMC and GME. Let's flip the whole stock market now. Screw you. Like that's their whole thing. So it's like it's kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of fun.
Wow, look at that. Yeah, people pointing out, hey, look, there's still quantitative easing. You never know what can happen. That maybe this thing goes to $1 trillion. I don't know. I think that's pretty funny. Yeah, okay, awesome. What do you think is going to happen today? Is the meta going to be Ansem tweeting something, or what's going to be the next meme coin that pumps?
It's tough to say because it usually has some form of like what happens in the market. Like something has to happen. Like that's the thing is like normally you need a narrative to go down, but then at the same time you almost don't. Like this thing called Cheeseballs, which is a wizard cat, is at like $8 million. Like I don't know why, but like you just need people to like the coin, and it does it. Like that's the craziest part. Like I'm looking now. I even bought some stupid thing here, this IPDC 6900 thing I just bought. I'm down now, but I don't know. I liked it. Interplanetary polar bear or something. I don't know. It's like the stupidest shit is like kind of the best thing. Like just don't think. If it makes you laugh, that's the best narrative. And us laughing at SPX 6900, I'm like, I need more exposure to that. Or I just need more exposure to other stuff that's just like dumb. Like I don't want to think and I just want to laugh. And that's kind of the best thing.
Magical Chicken's funny. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
I saw Snorkel Cat. That seemed kind of funny.
There's definitely different ways to trade a lot of this stuff, and a lot of times it's just like whatever brings you the most minuscule amount of joy is usually sometimes the best bet.
So when the mobile apps really come along for meme coins, that's going to really be something. Like the next 2 years worth of progression from a UI and technology perspective. It's pretty juicy stuff, pretty exciting. It's hard to tell what specific meme coin is going to go up, but yeah, I don't know.
I think what I'd like to see is something like BullX completely integrated in an app like Robinhood or Revolut, because you really just like, even the idea of getting my card out is something which is like friction. I don't want to go get my card, right? And you just want that complete seamless integration that I can buy what I see on BullX, these low market caps, like the chicken one, but in my Revolut or in Robinhood. And when that happens in the next 2 years, PO, to your point, I think that's when you're going to see that those market caps that look, they look big now, but in the next 2 years can be numbers that we're not even contemplating simply because of that simple integration. I think the way meme coins have been extremely defensive this year is something that you can't really fade as a market indicator of what they're going to do next year as well.
Yeah, I mean, as regular,
Ellie, BullX has an app. You should be an everyday user. You can use it on your phone, completely mobile. It's great. I love it. I use it all the time. I use it too much. It makes me look at my phone way too much.
There you go, Ellie. Come on now. Check out our partner BullX's app. What are you doing? Real quick, companies like BullX and others could get acquired by the bigger financial institutions if regulatory, kind of framework is advanced and is given clarity. So, I mean, that's going to take years, but I'm just pointing it out. It totally could happen. We were talking to somebody who had their security-based wallet application acquired by MetaMask. And I was like, yep, that makes a ton of sense. MetaMask was like, we don't want to build this. You built it. It's really good. It's in market. We're going to buy it. Just makes a lot of sense. Bodagos.com/BullX for Ellie. Do it with our link, bodagos.com/BullX. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. Friday, October 4th. We do the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time each and every week. We'll be back on Monday. Thanks for listening, everybody. We will catch you next time. Show's available, by the way, on Apple and Spotify podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Also available on YouTube for the video stream, Twitter for Twitter Spaces or Twitter platform video. Anyway, hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for watching the show. Like I said, we'll be back on Monday through Friday.